make a quick video just to show you what buyers are seeing. I'm going to show you the active listings that are $400,000 or less. Okay, I'm going to sort it by adjusted net. Now, I didn't even do this yet. Okay, I haven't done this study, but I have a pretty good idea what I'm going to see. So here's the association. These are the active listings. These are the sold listings, which is maybe a 20% price difference. So when I look up 400,000 over here, you could probably get it for 320, the same listing, because this is the pre-negotiated price versus the negotiated price. The only reason people are in business is to make money. That's the only reason. Otherwise, you have a hobby. And I don't sell hobbies. I just sell businesses, different condition businesses. All of Florida, let's say all counties, gross sales, selling price. Let's say here, $400,000, right? We got $400,000. Pretend we're Mr. and Mrs. Jones. We got 400,000. We just don't know what to do with it. And let's take a look and see what we could buy. These are all available for $400,000. Okay, this is our competition. Okay, now I'm going to narrow it down by Miami in a minute. Okay, but let me just show you here. Here are your losers. Now keep in mind, this is the actives, not the solds. But here, losing money, losing money, losing money, losing money, losing money. Here's a tax practice, right? Making 1.6 million. It doesn't have a price. Here, making 366. They're only asking 300,000. Owner 364 asking 375. 363 making 375. It's a pizza restaurant. He's keeping on this amount of assets. You can see the differential. These are positive cash flow with a history. Here, make $250,000 to the owner for 330. So how would you charge 400 to make negative 50? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. It's not logical. When you look at these things all day, like we do, it doesn't make any sense. So let me just go back for a second. Let me be a little bit more specific with you. Let's say Miami to Miami, okay? Let's say what's available in Miami right now it'll narrow it down so we could see a little bit better. Here's the actives. I'm going to do Miami, all types of businesses, okay? All categories. I'm not, anyone that can run a salon can run other businesses too. Maximum 400. Let's see what comes in. We got 400 grand. Let's see. Okay, there's 150 competitors for that same $400,000 in advertising, animals, all different types of businesses. What I'm interested in is how much does this job of owning this business pay me? Well, these are your losers, okay? And they haven't sold, and this is what they're asking, okay? But if this is correct, I could make 366 on 300. Here, beauty, right? Here, in fact, you know what? Why don't we do it that way? We could look up the beauty. I'll show you the salons in a minute. But here, you can make 332 for 190. 332. Now, this is not gross sales, okay? This is the adjusted net, okay? The sales are over here. It's set up a little different versus the sold. The sold column, the assets are over here. Over here, these are the actual sales volume. But on sales of 578, okay, you can see they kept 32 for 110. We have negative 50. So first we have to get to 0, then we have to get to 32, and then it has to be a business, it's a C-store, and then it's only 110. So, people are looking for the horsepower of the business, and that's what you have here. I'm going to put a minimum of adjusted net. Let's say, show me businesses that are under 400 in Miami that make over 50 grand, because I can live on 50 grand. Here, this is our competition. There's another hair salon. They want 100,000 to make 50. 200,000 to, and this is asking price, by the way, okay? I know that every owner always is high. They never listen to the business broker. I've never found one yet unless there's an emergency and they have to sell. Then they listen to us sometimes. The adjusted net was here, right? Adjusted net. But you can see, look, this is high. No one's going to pay 400 to make 53. It's like I've got guys that say, oh, I want 11 years earnings. None of these have ever sold for 11 years earnings. It's good luck. Here, 71 is only 59,000. This is a jewelry store. So this guy is making 71,000 for his family, positive cash flow on sales of 189. He's only asking 59. It'll probably sell for 50, 45. But this is the kind of thing that I want to bring your attention to. Here, you want to make 100 grand a year? 318. 100 grand a year? 390. If You wanted to make 400 in a sales price. You got to show $100,000 adjusted net, and the sales in order to do that in these different industries, you had to do 1.5 million, 600,000, 600,000. So fine, let's get 400,000. The buyers are going to say, show me the $500,000 in sales, and you make 100,000 to the owner. You'll get your 400. No problem. No problem. That works. Okay. Here, let's be a little bit more specific. We still are on Miami. Let's go to beauty. Let's see what our industry is offering. I'm going to take this off. So under 400 beauty Miami. Let's see what that looks like. If somebody has to buy something beauty or barber or hair or skin or tattoo related, these are going to be our competitors. But they don't have to buy that. They can buy anything they want. Here, positive cash flow, 65,000. Make 35, positive cash flow on sales of 200, which is higher. It's only 80. And we're going to ask for 400 to have negative fit. Our number is going to say a negative number here. So if you want to carry the business for another $5,000 a month for a year, that's another negative 60 grand and your time. And hopefully you'll get your sales up. If you wanted this is still going to be your competition. I don't know how else to show it to you. But here, somebody wants to make 100 grand for 350 on sales of 400, that's still high. Again, these are asking prices. So if you go to the solds, which is really what I go by, because that's really all that matters. That's what people agreed to. Let's go all counties. Let's go beauty. Let's go maximum selling price 400. And let's see what has sold. So here, a lot of barbershops have sold. Hair salon, there was 1,277 of them that actually sold. But who are we going to compare ourselves? Guys, look, see this right here? We're actually number one if we're losing 50. Assets of 56 sold for 60. Assets of 36 sold for 36. 55 sold for 60. You're right in that range. This column, the asset value, the used asset value, determined the price because you don't have this here. This is hoping that it's going to come through. That's what it is. When we get into positive cash flow territory, you can see, well, number one, how long will it take before we make, let's say, 20 grand? And it's sold for 19, 10, 30, 60, 95, 31, 65, 45, 57. This is what they actually sold for. And it became this adjusted net became a multiple of the earnings. So if I took this sector and you said, okay, what's it going to cost you to get to 20 grand positive cash flow? If it takes you 12 months, it costs you an additional $60,000 to make 50, but you're in it for 130. Now you're in it for 180 to get 50 or 60. It doesn't make any sense. The numbers just don't work. You want to make 20 grand positive cash flow? It costs, 30, 50, 60, 70. This is what it was. And if you want to be more specific with us, we can go back to just Miami. If you want to be geographic, friendly here. Let's see. What sold under $400,000? And then I should also put dates in, okay? Because it's been harder to sell businesses the last couple of years. The adjusted net, we would be here, right? It would say negative whatever the number, but it's grander than 2,000. How much did these sell for? 65, 65, 75, 75. These owners wanted $1 million. Couldn't get it. The buyer said no. The need was still there to sell. It ultimately settled at the value of provable assets. So anything over our asset value is just that you have an awesome agent working really, really hard, has awesome marketing, and some overpaying buyers. But this is the true market value right here. This is who we should be comparing ourselves right here. I don't see anybody with negative cash flow unless they have high assets. See, like this guy's got 750. Now, this could be new value that the seller gave to the listing agent, and the listing agent didn't change it. So it looks like 705, but it actually sold for 320. See, the list price was 385, but it sold for 320. So when we look at the actives, that's not what they're going to end up with. They're going to end up, see the difference between the list price and the sold price? There's a difference there. There's $65,000. It's 20%. So when you're looking at the asking price, $400,000. Yeah, it's going to sell for 320. If it even sells, only 20% of our listings sell. Only 20%, only about 900 or 1,000 of the 2,500 or 3,000 listings. But on an average, there's top performing agents like myself, but the average is 20% of our listings sell. So every 5 listings, one of them actually sell because the owners have a good business, good location, top agent. If you want to make 400, you got to give them something. You got to give them more than just equipment and a lease. They can get a lease on their own. There's a lot of lease opportunities right now, negotiable leases right now. This is the horsepower of the business. This is the horsepower right here. If it's 0 horsepower, that's what you got. You know, you can't compare yourself to somebody with 112,000 horsepower who is sold for $350,000. Thank you.